Holy cow, big group. My name's Phil Coleman, for you that don't know me, or maybe we've talked on the phone multiple times and we finally had the opportunity to meet. I'm the employer relationship manager with public safety. Don Minear recently retired, so I've been doing a little double duty and picking up some of the local board stuff as well. Now, we all know I don't know local board stuff inside and out, but again, I've got teammates within my organization that have been outstanding to assist me in getting answers to you as quickly as I can. You guys called and asked a question because you got an issue. I'm not going to sit on it for a day or 5 and catch up with you. I want to solve that problem right away. So kudos to the folks that have reached out to me and have been very nice to me and very warm and receptive. I do the best I can to catch up with people right away, because I realize that you have problems or you would not have called us. So again, I would encourage to continue to do things like that. Can everyone hear me? Okay, just making sure. So, life cycle of a member. Local boards. You know, this program goes back to 1968, and if we kind of look at a little bit of history here and understand what happened, there were a lot of little public pension plans throughout the state. A group of people got together and said, hey, why don't we kind of merge this? You know, what are the advantages of merging? Well, it creates a little portability and kind of commingles some money. But folks didn't want to give up some of the power that they had in their communities. You know, kind of a control issue, let's call it. And I get it. You know your people better than we know your people. So this model, this local board model, this agent multiple plan is somewhat of a unique public pension program, but it works. You know, some of us think it could be cumbersome at times, and yes, things could change down the road, but who knows what the future is going to look like. We can't answer that. But again, there are periodically comments about consolidating, doing this, doing that, whatever it might be. Again, folks are thinking about it and just trying to figure out what's the best model that we can have down the road. So currently, the system that we have is a local board system. The local board basically creates and enforces rules and regulations for the system and provides grievances and hearings. So again, kind of keeping your business where it belongs within your community that way. The local board's responsible for appointing physicians or a clinic to act as a board, a medical board for disabilities and for new hires. Kudos to this plan when it was put together about that pre-employment physical. Let's identify issues that this person may have and let them know that if, you know, that knee injury you had playing football back in high school, which is still bothersome at times, cannot be used as a foundation for a disability in the future. So that local board is identifying that injury and sending a certified letter to the member saying, we're aware of this, okay? So we just want to let you know, we're aware. And I think it's a great concept. Not every public pension plan in the country does things like that. A local board is basically made up of 5 people. So if I'm coming from a city or a town, basically I have a mayor. Let's call the mayor the chair. Or the mayor can appoint someone to be the chair. We have 2 taxpayers. Okay, in a lot of situations, you're going to find maybe an HR director and a finance director, people within the organization that want to kind of step up and take care of business. And then we have 2 elected members. 2 elected members from the active membership. Okay, so they've got to be a police officer, a firefighter, a correctional officer, active members in the plan. We can't have, someone who's in Park and Rec be that elected on the board. Doesn't work that way, okay? And I'm using that as an example because in the short period of time that I've been here, believe it or not, it happened, okay? So we need to be a little compliant with how the statute works here and take care of business. With that being said, a few of you maybe haven't seen me, but you've gotten emails from me about local board updates. Okay, I'm sorry for being a pest. Not really, it's my job. Okay, but I need those updates from you. We need to update our records. I had a call yesterday from a gentleman who's my local board secretary. Didn't know. Looked him up. They left years ago. I'm like, wow, okay. We don't need things like that happening. People are asking for help. We need to identify who that local board secretary is or their alternate so that member who's attempting to go into drop in the next couple months can get the ball rolling. So again, whenever you have an update in your board, whether it's a change in a local board secretary or one of the board members, I would appreciate a document. You can get it off the website or reach out to me and I'll provide it to you. Let's keep those records updated so we can take care of our people, okay? And again, I'm just having fun with you guys when I tell you, bless you, sir, when I tell you you're on my naughty list. I'm just joking around a little bit. That's my sense of humor, but we just need those records updated. So with that being said, I expect to get back into the office probably, by Monday. I'll probably have 50 of these documents coming in, which is fine with me. Records are updated. So let's just take care of business. Public safety new hire. Pretty simple. The employer is going to hire this individual, okay? So that's the employer's role. The local board is going to determine eligibility. So for public safety, when Tier 3 came about, the statute was amended. Date of hire or graduation from academy. The local board makes that decision. They need to be consistent with how they handle this. So the member, that Tier 3 public safety new member, has a 90-day window to make an election as far as types of benefits, whether it's traditional pension, whether it's a hybrid, or maybe they just want a defined contribution plan. They don't see the value of a traditional pension. They just want to walk out the door with 2 buckets of money, but they have that choice. So as a local board, you need to either data hire, the 90-day clock starts, or graduation from academy, the clock starts. You decide. There's no wrong answer here. It's just trying to be consistent. Public safety members have to work an average of 40 hours a week, okay, full-time. Regularly assigned hazardous duties, which a lot of cops and firefighters, it is hazardous, no doubt. AZ post-certified police officer or firefighter. So I've had contact with fire districts. Yeah, we've got 20 hours, 30 hours a week, blah, blah, blah. They're just starting, they're new. We'd like to bring them on board. I have to be the bearer of the bad news and say, no, they're not full-time. Okay, so that's the key when we understand how the plan works. Local board is going to send that individual to an independent medical evaluation for that pre-employment physical, which again, kudos to this plan for coming up with that idea because it eliminates some disabilities down the road. We're going to have a lot of conversation throughout the day on disability. We all know that post-traumatic stress is number one nowadays. And how do we deal with that? Okay, that question is being asked across the country. It's just not here in Arizona. It's everywhere. Public pension programs are struggling with PTSD. So I think at a point in time in the future, just like soft tissue back injuries in the 80s, someone's going to figure something out. We're going to get there, but it's going to take time. Board notifies the member if they do have a pre-existing condition. They're going to send out a certified letter. So the member is on notice that the local board is aware. Again, local board secretaries, you've got basically two folders. One of them is going to be your medical folder. Under lock and key, no one has access to it. That's where all that confidential medical information belongs. The employer is going to pay for that pre-employment physical. Okay, so again, we've got a little employer involvement in that situation. Now, the employer is going to get online, the PSPRS portal, that employer portal, and they're going to look to see if this person was a member before. And I would always encourage that you double check that information. The value in doing that is determining what tier do they belong in. Okay, were they a member a couple years ago? They forgot that they were a cop or a firefighter. It does happen, okay? And maybe they were a tier 2 member, and now you've hired them and you're thinking, hey, tier 3, no, they're tier 2. So when you rehire or you take that transfer from another entity, if they're a tier 1, tier 2, boom, they stay tier 1, tier 2. Brand spanking new people with no experience in this plan, that's a tier 3 member. And I've had a couple of employers kind of think, well, brand new hire for us, don't they go into tier 3? No, they already have a relationship with public safety, so they stay in that tier. Yeah, we talked about that. Again, that demographic lookup. Our website, every day we're going to see improvements. The board is behind staff in updating our systems. Yes, do we have some things that need some work? Yes, we all do. okay? I cannot think of any employer in this room that they have top-notch computer systems. We're all behind. This is government, okay? We're all playing a little catch-up. So is public safety. So the tools that we have, I think they work decently, but don't be afraid to pick up the phone. Don't be afraid to call us. I'm having issues, something's not working right, hyphenated name, whatever it might be. Again, we are here to help you out, so don't hesitate to ask questions. That employer is going to complete that P1 membership form for public safety, and they're going to send it in to us, as well as documenting things demographically online. We need that online connection to get the ball rolling. We don't really want to wait for that paperwork coming into the office, because if it's a brand new Tier 3 public safety member, we need to let them know right away that they've got 90 days. And we all can sit back and think, oh, 90 days is a long time. Well, wait a minute. This is a 90-day window where they have to make an irrevocable decision on defined benefit versus defined contribution. That's huge. So they need some education. They need some help. They need time. Because again, if they're in the academy, what are they focused on, right? Are they focused on pension? No, they're focused on graduation. They're focused on becoming a police officer or a firefighter. So they need that time. So if you're one of those local boards that brings them in right away, they have a very narrow window to make this decision. So we need your help. So on that membership form, I've seen this a couple times. Members' email address. Please ask them twice. Let's make sure we get the proper email address, because if we have a wrong address, obviously we're not reaching out to them properly. So we need your help when it comes to that. Double check those email addresses and let's make sure.
Bill,
go ahead.
Real quick to add to that, as I go out and teach some of the Tier 3 classes, it is so critical. It already takes, like for Phoenix, it's about 4 to 6 weeks after we hire somebody before it goes through the city system to the local board and gets over into our system until we can start sending emails out. So they're already usually halfway through their 90-day period before they get the first notification from us. And it is an irrevocable choice for these new guys and gals. So the sooner you can get us the information, the sooner we can start pushing out the education. We can start pushing out all the stuff they need to fill out for Tier 3. It's vitally important that we have the email addresses and we get that stuff pushed out, because it's already a 4 to 6 week delay just to process the paperwork to start sending that stuff out. So even more is delayed. Now they might only have a month to choose. They might only have 2 weeks to choose, because that 90-day clock starts when it starts. We can't go back and change that. So,
thank you, Will. Tier 3, pension reform. Again, not just here in Arizona, across the country. So 2016 legislation, effective July 1. Tier 3, what are we looking at? First question, does the employer participate in Social Security, yes or no? The answer is yes. Again, the member has a choice in how they want their future retirement to look like. They can go with that traditional defined benefit, lifetime pension, can't outlive it. Not a bad way of doing business. I'm an old school pension, love them. Wished everyone in the world had a pension. The world would look different today. Okay, no doubt in my mind. Or let's go with that straight defined contribution. I don't expect to be a police officer or firefighter, for 15 years until I'm 55, whatever it might be. I'm just doing this for a short period of time. I like the concept of defined contribution plan. It's great to have a choice. It really is. But again, educated decisions. So members need some help sometimes, and we're going to talk about that here in a minute. Does the employer participate in Social Security? The answer is no. Again, that member has a choice of a hybrid, defined benefit plus a defined contribution, or straight defined contribution. As Will just indicated, irrevocable after 90 days. Irrevocable choice. Doesn't matter if you bounce around from employer to employer, you choose a DC or a DB for the rest of your career here in the great state of Arizona, this is what you have, okay? So the member is making this choice, and I think we are very clear. I do get phone calls periodically from a member asking questions. Got to be clear, irrevocable. Make sure you're doing the right thing. Talk to people. No local board or employer is participating in this member decision. In the event that the member doesn't make an election, it's going to default to a defined benefit, which may not be the worst thing in the world, depending maybe when they turn 55, they realize, wait a minute, lifetime income, I can't outlive it, and I pass, and my spouse has income as well. Well, I got lucky on that one. So, again, I missed a point here, that member portal. We are going to encourage that member to get online and make that election. I was up in Prescott, Yavapai County a couple months back, and I was pretty clear. Where's Kim Brady? I know you're here. Back to me. Aha. Kim and I had a little bit of fun of demanding that these kids make decisions. I kind of joked with them that I know who you are. I've got your names. I'm going to look at your record and make sure that no one does default. Okay? So again, we'd like to see more members making that irrevocable decision and not waiting to default. So again, part of it is getting to them a little bit earlier. Benefit education. There's education available. We currently work with Public Safety Financial Galloway. They're always willing to visit with members to assist them in trying to determine DB versus DC. I always joke about my brother-in-law is a financial planner, so I'm not going to say you can go talk to him, but maybe you have a family member who's a financial planner or someone who understands finances better than they do. Have that conversation. We all know sometimes if we have a conversation with someone, we just think some things through, we might be a little bit more successful. Okay, so hate to see those defaults, but I guess they do happen. Tier 3 Corp, AOC. Again, kind of a change of the plan, very dramatic, very advantageous, depending on how you want to look at things. Again, that employer is going to make that hire. Full-time position, state correctional officer, state, county, city detention, probation surveillance from AOC, or other designated positions. Again, demographically, let's get that look-see and try to determine if they were a member in the past. Did they take a refund? There's information out there that is available. Again, if you're having issues, I know there's only a couple staff people in here right now, so don't hesitate to call us and ask a simple question. Okay, it is that simple. We'll answer the question, and then you guys can put them online and report properly. Okay, bless you. So, let's ask questions and make sure that we're doing the right thing for our people. That employer is going to send in that CORP application form, C1, same concept. We need that email address. That is very, very helpful for us to make sure that we have that proper email, so we're reaching out to that individual so they can take care of business. And again, this pretty much mirrors what we do for public safety. So a lot of you, are doing it for public safety. You're doing it for corrections as well. So again, a copy of the document, a little bit cleaner looking. This is just the front page. There's beneficiary information on the back side of both forms. I am gung-ho crazy about beneficiaries. So let's encourage people to do multiple beneficiaries, okay, not just one. I'm just going to put my spouse on there. Okay, what if you're both killed? And what if you both die in a car accident? Let's get the money to the people that you wanted the money, or the members wanted the money to go to. So strongly encourage secondary beneficiaries, please. Duties for new hires. So Ken, we're going to email the member. We're going to reach out to them. Welcome to the plan. Happy to have you. You've got a limited period of time, whether it's public safety or CORP, Tier 3, to make decisions, 90 days. Now that CORP was just amended September of last year, giving them a 90-day window. Because when it first rolled out, they had to make a decision by the end of the pay period, which again, I heard from a lot of county employers that just didn't like that idea. I would strongly encourage people to, hire someone on the beginning of the pay period, not on the end of it, just so they have time to make this choice. So again, emails, 60, 90-day intervals, reminding them that they have an irrevocable choice. Public safety, you've got that defined benefit, traditional pension, defined contribution. You walk out the door with basically 2 buckets of money, or you've got that hybrid, kind of a combination of both for non-Social Security covered employers. Correctional officers, again, straight corrections, one-time decision to make that irrevocable choice as far as percentage of salary. And again, 20%, it is what it is. 5%, again, you're still saving money for your future. You're still deferring money today, but is it going to be enough to live on? And to me, 37 years in dealing with public pensions, it's not I'm 55 years old, I'm tired of my job. It's do I have enough money to retire? That's truly what it is when I sit back and think about making some of those decisions. In the CORP program, you've got that minimum 5%, maximum, which is going to be set by the IRS, and I think it hovers about 40% right now. If that member doesn't make that election, there's a default to the 7%, which is still not bad, but hopefully, again, they have other vehicles to try to help them out. AOC, probation surveillance officers, a little bit different for that group. They have a choice to either go defined benefit, traditional pension, or they can go DC. They have a choice. And then again, if they go traditional pension, it is what it is. If they have DC, again, they need to make that election as far as their contribution level. Employer contributions. So defined benefit, traditional pension contributions come into public safety. In the event that the member chose a 401, those dollars go to nationwide. And if it's a hybrid plan, a little comes to us, a little bit goes to nationwide. So we're just kind of saying some of this stuff out loud as friendly reminders. We've got folks in the room that have been doing this for, a few years, and we've got some brand new people as well. So we're just trying to cover all of our bases and let everyone know how the plan kind of works. Investing contributions. So I'm a traditional defined benefit member, traditional pension. The plan is involved in the investing of those dollars. Members, the employers, don't have to worry about that. We have a great group of people in our organization that are top-notch, receiving awards within their industry for investments. Okay, good group of people. So I think we're taking care of business there. If you're a member that's either a traditional DC, defined contribution, or you're a hybrid, you, the member, have the ability to pick and choose where those dollars are invested. You've got a wide variety of choices. In the event that the member does not make a choice, there's a default to a target fund. Now, target funds are kind of unique. Based on your age, I'm young, so a lot of money in the market. But as I get older, understanding market volatility, that target fund kind of decreases my money out of the market because I don't have time to recover. So it's kind of a cruise control investment vehicle, which is not a bad idea. Target funds are advantageous, but again, I have a brother-in-law who's a financial planner, so he's always trying to tell me what to do with my money. Of course, I don't listen to him, but we'll see what happens in my future. We'll see how long you guys have to put up with me. So if I've done well investing, it could be a short career, but who knows? Drop payments, whether it's a public safety drop as an example, those dollars are going to go into that nationwide account. If you don't make decisions, it goes into a fixed rate account for them. So they're still making some money on it. Again, you probably don't have to worry about that, but when whether it's drop or reverse drop, you're walking out the door with a nice chunk of change. Hopefully you've got someone who's willing to assist you in investing those dollars wisely. Because I was around back in the Enron days, let me tell you, it wasn't pretty for some states. Family matters, boy. Beneficiaries, again, kind of crazy about beneficiaries. Let's make sure that members are aware. We just began member education 1/1 of last year, and we're out trying to educate members and reinforce, we're going to have life event changes. Whether I get married, whether I get divorced. I have a little bit of fun when I do some of those programs, and let's see how many people in the room have been divorced, and are you positive that your ex is no longer your beneficiary? And it's amazing how many people get on their phone and start looking at their records, okay? Now, and I also travel with a boatload of those change forms because I get a lot of folks asking me, yeah, I'm that person that left my ex, on my account. So again, we need to update records. We start having kids as an example as well. We've got primary, secondary, we've got automatic survivor benefits for spouse and kids, but maybe we don't want to, maybe we don't want money going to our family. Single person, no kids, no spouse, I don't make a designation, You know, do I want my money going to my sister who I haven't talked to in 25 years because of something happened? No, it's your money. It's the members' money. They should remember, and again, part of it's up to us to remind them to make changes in their account when we're aware of something changing in their life. We don't have to register spouses. I don't have to put my spouse in that beneficiary change form. I don't know why someone wouldn't do that, but that's just me, because there are automatic survivor benefits for a spouse and or dependent children. So that's first in line. Member passes. First in line, spouse, dependent kids, and then, oh boy, storytelling. We'll move on. I've been told I got to get going. So beneficiary change form. Service purchases. Service purchases are initiated by the member, no employer or local board involvement. Member makes that official request to public safety. And again, kicking the tires. I'm always encouraging members, if they're in a situation, whether it's buying forfeited service, military time, out-of-state service, look at the numbers. Look at the numbers. Educated decisions based on those facts. Cost varies from member to member, depends on a variety of different things. So we all hear the conversation, well, Bill looked it up and his cost is less than mine. I want to be billed today. Well, you're different. You don't have the same date of birth. You haven't been there at the same period of time. Your salaries could be a little bit different. So there are factors involved in taking care of some of this. How do I pay this? You know, don't write us a check for $35,000. You know, keep your cash unless you have to. You know, roll money from your 457. Take that defined contribution and turn it into a defined benefit. There's value there. Roll over from other qualified plans. I've got money in a 401 from a previous employer. It's just sitting there. Maybe, you know, think about rolling that into the plan and help pay for it. Employer involvement would participate with payroll deduction agreements. Just another vehicle for trying to restore time. Now, Tony is not happy we put his picture on this PowerPoint, let me tell you. But there is a great video out there. Tony is another rock star in the organization. Encourage your people to watch the video. Encourage them to get online and do the calculations. Okay, that creates that framework for them to take the next step. Oh, this is to my advantage. You know, this does make sense for me to buy it. Or I had a gentleman at a police department, you know, all upset with me one day because he's going to die before he gets his money back. And I said, well, we answered your question. It doesn't make sense to do the buyback. You know, so little things like that, members can figure this out on their own. They don't always have to bug their local board secretary for things. I am very encouraging to members to get online and answer a lot of their own questions. Drop and reverse drop. So again, there's spreadsheets out there. This is what you save your local board secretary for. It's doing this paperwork on our website. Okay, and it is complex at times, it's cumbersome, but they need to get online and take care of business. So we got different paperwork, you know, for public safety versus CORP, you know, drop or reverse drop. So again, the local board is going to complete some of the paperwork. It's all online. You know, there's extra documents that we need. We're going to look at that paperwork when it comes in and just verify that everything is completed. Again, I'm probably not a lot of staff people in here, so I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying this as well. If you're a new local board person and maybe this is the second time that you've done drop paperwork, or maybe it's the first, do not hesitate to reach out to us and say, can you eyeball this for me before I have someone sign off on it? Because again, I really don't want to put you in a position of that police officer, firefighter, correctional officer going, you don't know what you're doing. You know, I had to do the paperwork over again. So don't be afraid to send it into us and we'll help you out with that. Okay, the first couple times you do it, it's a little complicated, but give it some time. We'll make some improvements and make this a little bit simpler. So the local board has to put that drop application on the agenda. You know, okay, it's a member benefit application, so it's got to be agendized. Again, for public safety, that member is going to stop making contributions, as is the employer. So we don't have that contributory, non-contributory. Everyone's the same nowadays. That was cleared up about 12 months ago. No contributions are made to the pension plan by either the employee or the employer when they go into drop. We're going to review that package. We're going to make sure things look good. If the local board wants to double check that, they can get into the portal, and there's a screen on there where they can see things happening. You know, accepting a retirement application, accepting a drop application, so that local board secretary can verify that public safety has taken care of this. Normal retirement, again, a little bit more paperwork. Whoever said retirement's easy obviously hasn't filled out some of this paperwork. It's not. It's a little bit more complicated, but we all know it is all about paperwork, and it is on our website. If you have issues, whether it's reaching out, myself, Joanne and her team, you know, we are always willing to help you guys out and take care of business. Normal retirement processing, again, the local board's taking care of some of the business. We need some paperwork by the member. You know, again, I think a lot of you know this, and this information is going to be available after the session as well. Certain things that I want to remind you of for processing is certified copy of marriage documents. We have a tendency to not see some of that paperwork, so I wanted to point that out to you. Domestic relations order, been divorced, okay? That spouse, that ex-spouse is eligible for a portion of the pension. Let's get that paperwork into our office early, and let's make sure that it's there so that when that member gets ready to retire, nothing is slowed down, okay? There's no delays in making those payments. Direct deposit paperwork, okay? Again, one of the issues that we see periodically is people are kind of forgetting about that direct deposit, whether it's a voided check or filling out just some information for us, because that's how we pay our members. Money goes straight to their bank account. Divorce and child support. Okay, so bottom line on this one is it is the member's obligation. If money is coming out of their paycheck, okay, for child support, as an example, it is not the employer's obligation, it is not the local board's obligation, it is the member's obligation to reach out to the clerk of the Superior Court or the Arizona Department of Economic Security and get that paperwork to public safety, so when they start getting their pension payments, that support continues with no interruptions. Okay, that is something that, again, we want to be vocal about. And, you know, you probably know who those people are that are divorced or have child support. Please encourage them that they need to take care of that process. Again, we need to see paperwork by the 10th. Joanne and her team over there are rock stars during that early in the month, trying to process all that paperwork. There's nothing wrong for you sending in paperwork in advance, okay? They've told you that they're leaving. Everyone knows it. We just had a big party for them, okay? So let's get that paperwork in, even if it's 30 days in advance. Let's get it done. One less thing that we all have to worry about. You know, again, we're going to contact the local board if there's an error. We're going to review the packets. We're going to enter that information. We're going to post that, again, on that local board portal so that you guys know that we've taken care of business. We're going to initiate that pension payment, and the members can see that on the website. Return to work. My favorite subject matter. Okay, employers must inform the local board when a retired member of their agency is hired to a civilian position. The board must determine whether the return to work retiree is entitled to collect their pension during their employment. Again, eligibility questions. Local boards need to take care of some of this stuff. Retirees can be hired 60 days after their retirement, you know, for the same employer. Correct me if I'm wrong. Same employer is what we're talking about here. If they participated in an open competitive process for entry-level non-supervisory position. Rather complicated there, but you know, that's how the law is, and we all just want to play by the rules. That's all. We need to know the rules to play by the rules. Okay? There are no restrictions if a retiree is hired as a fire inspector or an arson investigator. Okay? We'll move on. Employers must inform the local board when a retired member of their agency is hired. Even though it may not impact you, the conversation still needs to be had. Local board must determine whether the return to work retiree can continue to collect their pension. important things that we all have to take care of. We need those board minutes. We need to know that you guys had that conversation. And I would have to say, since Don, well, I guess he trained me in to do some of this stuff as well, but, you know, I'm looking at those local board minutes. I do read them, okay? A couple of us in the office do. So we definitely, some things that you guys might be missing are some of that return to work or just acknowledging retirees. The big one that's on my radar right now is alternative contributions. Okay, it's getting money into the plan, everyone. I think we've heard about it. We're going to continue to hear about that. Money coming into the plan so our investment team can do what they do well. Invest the money and get good returns for the plan. Okay, that's what's going to help us all out. So if you've hired that retiree, you know, into a public safety position, that alternative contribution is required. Whew. Did I make it? Good.